Everybody's a leader. If everybody led in this world, led their sphere of influence, we all have somebody that we can influence. And that's all leadership is, in my opinion. Go out and lead by example, but not just lead to lead, give value. That's why I give a lot of value for free. Lead well, serve first, and be that leader that you are with your circle of influence.
Welcome to Dream Big with Big Dreamers, conversations for career growth, inspiration, and insight. It's time to dream big. Welcome to Dream Big with Big Dreamers. Ryan Johnson, you are my guest today. Thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah, Donna, thank you so much for having me.
Me too. You and we've talked quite a bit since we first met. Let's do this. Introduce yourself. Give us a little brief understanding of who you are and what you do.
Yeah, I'll keep that short because it's a longer story than that. But yeah, so Ryan Johnson, I have my own business, solopreneur business that I've started just a year and a half ago called Three Sparrows Executive Services. And so I'm trying to help the small business owner grow their business.
Fabulous. And when you were a little boy, were you like, I've always wanted to help executives and help them rescue them from being overworked and overwhelmed operationally?
Yeah, that's exactly right. I wanted to be a Major League Baseball player, like probably, at least when I grew up, 100% of my friends wanted to. So I chased that dream till I was 27 and played professionally, but not at the big league level. So at one point I felt a little bit like a failure, but I also played professionally, which I wanted to do.
So when you say professionally, does that mean were you in the minor leagues versus the major leagues? What does that look like?
Two levels of minor league baseball. So there is they call it the organized level, who the minor leagues are attached farm teams, I call them, underneath the Major League Baseball teams. And then there's the independent professional leagues. Independent investors get together and realize there's a lot more players out there than in our roster spots. So let's give them an opportunity to play professionally, pay them, and attract a lot of people to come. And it feels just like an organized baseball, Major League Baseball league. So that's what I did. I did not get a chance to get drafted into the major leagues. I almost did. Phillies didn't take me. And so I got to Philadelphia.
Here I am in Philadelphia.
Yeah,
we love the Phillies here.
If you follow baseball, back in that year when I was on the draft board for the Phillies, they took J.D. Drew. So it's been a long time. J.D. Drew is not playing anymore, but he was a big-time player out of Florida State, and he went number one and was the highest paid number one draft pick in history at that time. So they had to cut off at the bottom. But anyways, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. And so I get drafted into the independent professional minor leagues and had a blast and played with a lot of players from the big leagues and had a good time.
I'm flashing back to a conversation I had with my husband. His dear friend from childhood followed a similar type of path. He was a really great baseball player and had dreams of getting into the big leagues. And I remember my husband was telling me how he and his friend were sitting there watching a Phillies game. My husband starts yelling, "Don't you know what you're doing down there?" Some fumble had occurred. Not a fumble, I know that's football, but whatever. Anyway, and Jimmy turns to my husband and says, "Do you realize how good that guy is just to even be doing that bad in Major League?"
Yeah.
Like, their ability is so rare and so amazing, and you're yelling at him, but just the fact that he's there, do you realize his capability and how much better he was than anyone else? After hearing that story, it's really made me rethink, because just to be even just professionally, that's an amazing experience.
I appreciate that. Yeah, it was. When you look back at it, you go, wow, not too many people even got to do what I got to do. And it really showed me how to really embrace hard work when you want something, when you have a dream. And that's what's propelling me now in this business. The things that you learn as an athlete, whether it's professional or not, is good for life. Yeah, but I definitely feel that as well. I don't boo players.
Just as I am always nice to cold callers.
Yeah, exactly.
I think once you've been in their shoes, you treat them better. I often hear from executives who say that if they're going to hire someone, they want to hire someone who had been an athlete. That is such a differentiator.
Yeah.
Even for myself, I think back to when I was in high school and I was an athlete and the things that taught me. It was really quite huge. What do you take and apply to business from that athletic background?
That's what I like to lean into. To me, it's the execution of things. When you're an athlete, The scoreboard is your accountability, and especially on a baseball scoreboard, because you have the number of errors, number of runs, and number of hits, and then you get reminded of that for the entire game on that scoreboard. And so as an athlete, you have to adjust constantly and figure things out and be accountable. And so when I moved out of coaching, athletic playing and coaching, that seemed foreign and distant to me. Like there was not strict goals and accountability. Like it was pretty loose. I'm like, I don't like this. I like the structure of knowing that I have to win every day. And so I took that with me as an employee. And then, of course, moving into the executive leadership, you structure things that way and try to make people realize we're trying to win every day. And this is how we're going to do it, is what I've taken from that.
And hearing that, it paints this picture. Your tagline is rescuing overwhelmed CEOs from their operational chaos. And the way you've phrased that, I can see a person not knowing their numbers, not knowing what they've done, not having that structure, not having that focus, and being able to overlay what you do would take away that chaos and really calm someone.
Absolutely. Yeah. And just like a good coach has to do with their team in a big game or a big stage, they have to calm everybody down, tell them the plan. This is how we're going to execute the plan, and just go do it. Let your talent speak. And so I love that. And you don't have that pressure in day-to-day business typically, unless it's really fast-paced. And there's a lot of industries that are really fast-paced every day, especially if you're in sales or recruiting, staffing, those types of things. But a lot of businesses have to generate their own tension and their own intensity, or else people are just floating and can lose motivation. I keep the eye on the prize. They don't have the goal if you don't keep it in front of them. Yeah, I just love coaching and love bringing those skills over to business, because you're coaching the employees to be their best, just like you coach players.
The name of your business is Three Sparrows Executive Services. Tell me, where did you come up with the name Three Sparrows?
Yeah, so we tried to start at Amazon. I say me, not really my wife, but I had her support, my son. We were going to start our own Amazon business during COVID, I think it was. Everybody was trying to pick up something, and we thought this could be another stream of revenue for our family too. I could teach my son about business and how to do this. So we decided to come up with a name. We love the Lord. And so we were flipping through scripture. We're also just thinking, and there's a lot of verses in the New Testament that Jesus talks about how he provides for the birds of the air and the lilies of the field. Isn't he going to provide even more for you, who are valued so much more than grass and birds? And so we picked one of those verses, Matthew 10, and it talks about Matthew 10, 29 through 31. It talks about Jesus talking to his disciples about taking care of the birds of the air, the sparrows. So there's three of us in our family. So we thought, we're three sparrows trying to figure this thing out and be provided for in a different way. So we stopped that. We never did go through with that. We tried, and it just wasn't for us.
What were you going to sell?
Well, we were going to, I don't know. That was the problem. We couldn't come up with a good product. And so I love the marketing of it and the back end and all that sort of thing. I just couldn't figure out a good product, and my son lost interest. So we moved on, but I kept the name. So when I started this business, I thought, I'm going to bring that back, and I'm going to use that, because this I believe is going to be a new provision for our family moving forward in a new career. So that's why we named it Three Sparrows.
See, it's so funny. When I heard the name the first time, Three Sparrows, I had a similar thought, but it was totally different.
Okay.
I heard in my head, my son loves that song. There's three birds outside my doorstep.
I guess I don't know that
singing
one.
Sweet songs.
Okay.
The melody's pure and good. This is my message to you. Everything's going to be all right.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I didn't even realize that. I didn't know all the lyrics, apparently.
Yeah.
So,
and I could be like, maybe it's, excuse me while I kiss this guy, as opposed to kiss the sky.
Yeah.
I could have totally erred on those lyrics, but that's at least the lyrics I heard. And so when it was Three Sparrows, I flashed to those lyrics, the idea of there's three birds outside my doorstep and everything's going to be all right.
Yeah.
And it felt right.
Resonates.
It resonated. And I'm wondering if maybe Bob Marley had read that maybe he's thinking of the scripture like you are.
Yeah, right.
Birds, but
I don't usually. It refers to three sparrows sometimes, or two, or more. So we just chose, hey, we're a 3-person family. So let's go with 3.
I like it. I like it very much. So let's talk a little bit more about some of these challenges someone might be facing. Where might they be, and what would be a really good, what can you say to them? You might need to be reaching out. Chaos is not normal.
Yeah.
But this is where you might be, where you're like, yeah, it's time to
Yeah.
pick up the phone.
Yeah, that's a great question. Whenever everything starts coming to you as the business owner, and all of a sudden you realize that things are stopped, they're not moving like they should be moving, decisions, production, anything, if it all bottles next to you as the business owner, you may need some executive leadership help to come in and sort that out for you and create a structure in an opportunity. So if you hear of business owners say, man, we're all overwhelmed. Every business owner is overwhelmed. So I get it. But when I say overwhelmed here, it means so overwhelmed, almost debilitating, like business is not moving because of me. I have a great idea. We're delivering a great service or a product, but we're losing clients or we're not moving forward in our production. Overwhelmed obviously is a buzzword, but maybe my people they don't know what to do. I'm having to repeat myself a lot. Things aren't getting done the way they should be getting done or at the time they're supposed to be getting done. Then you realize, oh, there's no structure here. Everybody's just figuring it out. And so that's dangerous. That's when the business starts imploding and starts to crumble around. And it can happen really quick or very slowly over time, just depending on the situation. But more time than not, most people are trying to protect that bottom line so much, that profit margin so much, that they're like, wow, it's just too expensive to bring in another executive leader. I just can't do it. I just got to keep figuring it out on my own. But again, that's where the part-time or fractional role comes in. That's really a win situation.
So out of curiosity, who inspires you? What inspires you? When you think of something that keeps you motivated as you're building this business and you're helping people who are clearly struggling, what keeps you inspired and motivated and moving forward?
Yeah, outside of my faith, that comes first, my relationship with Jesus for sure. Outside of that, I've got some great mentors around me that are great businessmen. They've been through it. And they've seen it all. As things get hard and I work with other clients, there's such great resources to bounce ideas off of and just say, what did you do when you ran your business? Or what was it like when you sold your business? And how do you deal with all of these employee issues, stuff like that? So I've been very blessed to have friends around me that we meet together routinely. Also just great new business contacts as well. So I'm always looking to encourage somebody. And then I always get encouraged when I do that too. Just that network is growing all the time. But those close friends around me that are businessmen really have been fantastic.
I think it's important to surround yourself. They always say, if you're the smartest person in the room, you've got to leave.
Yes.
But also, if you want to level up, you've got to level up the people in your life. You're putting together a mastermind type of community, aren't you?
Yes, absolutely. It's called the Strategic Growth Forum. It's a joint venture with a friend of mine in town, a business consultant, very successful. So he asked me to come in and lead this. We're going to try to kick this off in the fall. A soft launch. We're looking for 6 to 8 core members that'll come in and want to make the group they want it to be. But yeah, we're trying to take business owners, our business executives, CEOs, and C-suite executives to bring them into a non-compete confidential group. And there's a lot of them out there. There's Vistage and C12 and just to name a few. But this group is really hyper focused on revamping and making them rethink and reshape their strategic planning process and helping them develop a system versus just a plan. And a system works, it doesn't stop. It works on its own. A plan can sit there and not be executed. And so we really focus on the execution and delivering that accountability and that support to the business owner or the executive leader to make sure that gets executed. And so you can come in for a year and do that, or stay multiple years, use it as a networking opportunity as well. We're there to make sure the success and the foundation continues on, because it's hard when you don't have accountability and you don't have somebody that's outside of the organization that you can talk to. It can go away in a hurry. And so we don't want that to happen. So we're really excited about this group, and we're going to do one in person, but also.
Is this in person or is this virtual? Where would these people be ideally located?
Yeah, we're going to have both eventually. So we'll probably do a soft launch locally, but if we get a handful of people that want to start it virtually, we're going to do that as well. This is really great for small business owners that can't hire another executive leader. So it's like having a team of other executives that can give them objective advice looking from the outside in. So we're really excited about launching that.
And where are you located again?
Yeah, in Conway, Arkansas, right outside of Little Rock, the capital. And so we're hoping to take the central Arkansas area and even all over the state. If people want to drive, it's only 2.5 hours to the border all the way around. So it's not a big state, but again, quickly trying to launch the virtual sessions as well.
Fabulous. I wish you the best of luck with that.
Yeah, thank you.
I think it's something that people need to feel it's part of that community, to have those accountability partners, people that you can talk to, open up to. It's like a non-competitive type of situation. But at the same time, I think there is that competition to do the right thing and to get in front of people. So that's fabulous.
Absolutely. And accountability, again, because everybody's going to make commitments every month to do the things that we're helping each other do, because no one wants to waste their time. So it is competitive in that nature. We're competing in who can grow their business better or apply the strategies the best and not waste each other's time. That's a high degree of accountability there. That's healthy, of course.
Yeah, I think so too. I love watching your posts on LinkedIn. You post a lot. You've got some really great things coming out. And so I would definitely say, anyone who's listening, please make sure that you follow Ryan and pay attention to his great posts. How else can people find you? How would you like people to intersect with you?
Yeah, I appreciate that. It's always good to have people take notice of that, because I'm here to help for sure. So just through my website, they can get there through my LinkedIn profile, of course, but threesparrowses.com. And I've got a giveaway. People something.
Absolutely.
So again, you can find it on my LinkedIn page as well, but it's 3 steps to 10x your business. And so I've created a low-level survey or a low-level assessment.
Assessment.
Yeah, that's better. Assessment better than survey. Assessment to see, where are you? And if you are in a bad way, then I'm here to help. And it doesn't mean that you'll have to hire me. Maybe we have a couple conversations and you'll be good. But if they go to threesparrowses.com/framework, that'll take them right to that landing page. And so there's a guide with the assessment, an explanation with the assessment, and that's completely free. I know that's not good when it comes to funnel, but I've heard some people doing this, and I appreciate this too. It is good to get people's emails, but I'm going to give you that completely free with no email. And then if you want to schedule a free strategy session, then I'll need to get a hold of you. So I'll need your email from there. But hopefully those 2 things. So download the guide, threesparrowses.com/framework. And then if you want to schedule a free strategy session, there's a way to do that on that guide as well.
I hope people take you up on that offer, because that's a very generous one. Is there any last things that you'd like to leave us with?
I just think, yes, it's always on my mind for leaders. We're all leaders in some way. Some people think I'm not a business owner, so I can't be a leader. No, you are a leader. Everybody's a leader. If everybody led in this world, led their sphere of influence, we all have somebody that we can influence. And that's all leadership is, in my opinion. Go out and lead by example, but not just lead to lead, give value. That's why I give a lot of value for free. Lead well, serve first, and be that leader that you are with your circle of influence.
And you're doing that every day.
I appreciate that.
Thank you for leading by example.
Thanks, Donna. This has been great.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.